I know, but it's all autos. All he grows is autos. It's literally the same quality that I got for 20. Welcome to another episode of Fresh Pressed Hash House with Capital Skunk. And today is a special episode because the Can of Clamp guys fixed my problem. They sent me a brand new clamp, and I'm really excited to have a new clamp because I can get to pressing again. And you know, since this is the Fresh Pressed Hash House, what would it be without some fresh pressed hash? Unfortunately today I won't be doing the beer demo. I got a little lazy and didn't buy any fruit or beer. I drank it all. So let me show you guys the new can of clamp that I got, or the new plates that I got for the can of clamp. And when I spoke to the guys at Can of Clamp, they were super cool. They actually got me a brand new package. And then, so this is gonna be the first time I open it here live. So this is the new and improved Can of Clamp. It comes with the big plate, which has all the electronics on it for you to change the temperature. And the difference between this one and the last one is that now it's going up 5 degrees instead of 10 degrees. So check it out. This is awesome. Yo, can we go back to it? Yeah. And this is the second plate. And they've given us new attachments for the actual clamp. So when you buy the Irwin Quick Grip, which is what we use for the Can of Clamp, you have to change them to these more rubber plates that then hook up to the electronic plates and the heating element. Alright, so this new Can of Clamp actually comes in 2 versions. So you'll get 2 different types of molds. And the first mold is going to be for the Irwin, and then I think there's a Black & Decker brand, like a yellow one, that also does quick release clamps. And so you can use them, and you can use the same heating element. You'll notice the big difference is this right here. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and get started, guys. First time I do this, so what we're going to do is we're going to disconnect this little screw that comes with it. Alright, so I've got that out. Next, we're going to change the plastic molds to the new plastic molds. I just want to be safe and make sure I'm using the newest version. Once we have them in here, make sure they're nice and tight. I think this one here. All right. Now we're gonna go ahead and put in the big plate and just slide. It should just easily slide in. And that's it right there. The next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna slide in the second plate. And this one should also just be a quick slide in. So we're gonna go ahead and do that now. Difficulties here. Let's see what's going All right, guys, so little technical difficulties putting it in, but it's, you know, you guys got to see everything as it goes down, because not everything is perfect.
Hey, Rodrigo, Jeremy Beaver here, station manager. No, there's no such thing as a technical difficulty when you're doing this type of stuff, because we need to know how it works, okay?
That's true.
So you are the expert. If you run into issues, imagine what we're running into. So all those out there in viewer land, okay, you're looking at the real live demo of how these, you know, can clamps are put together and used. So it's not a tech. I mean, if he's having technical difficulties, best believe you'll have them. Okay, so make sure that, you know, you get in touch with Fresh Pressed, you know, Hash House, because this is the guy who knows how to do it.
So I figured it out.
Oh, okay. What was the problem?
I was just using the wrong plate for it. You know, you get a couple of these so you can, you know, and then I messed them up. You know?
You put the plate on the wrong side?
Well, no, I put the wrong plate on the wrong side.
Oh, okay.
So these plates are for the back side, the one that actually goes to the heat element that has the electronics, and then this one that doesn't have a backing to it goes on the other side, and then it can slide in easily. And
then where can they find these clamps if they want to purchase a clamp?
Oh, so these clamps can be found at Midwest Concentrates, midwestconcentrates.com, and that's USA-based company. You know, it was designed here in the USA. All right, so next thing we're going to do, guys, is we're going to do some flowers. We're going to press some flowers here. This is a papaya. It's an indica grown indoors. And right now it's probably one of my favorite flowers. It's really nice. It smells delicious. It's called papaya. So there's some good stuff here. You know. Get that better with that. Oh, there we go. That's better. You know, since I press most of my flowers, I don't really care how they're trimmed. Oh, nice. So we're gonna go ahead and press some of these nugs, check out how they do, and then smoke them. And then after that, we're gonna have a special guest coming in from Head Statch Gardens, and he's going to talk to us a little bit about probiotic gardening and a little bit about Bong and what they're doing up in Colorado with probiotic farming and ferments. All right, so we got to make sure that we've got power on this thing. which is something I forgot to plug in. So just give me a second, plug this in. I may disappear from camera for a second. So yeah, let's take a break. What's up, guys? We're back on the air. This is the Fresh Press Hash House, and we're live on air right now, guys. So just give me a minute. I'll be with you. And so what we're gonna do right here is you see this, guys, right here. This is called Lactobacillus. This is a bacteria, and it's what we've been making. We made it with the rice, and then we poured the milk into the rice, and it created this layer of curds that, unfortunately, on my way here they broke up. But you know, it's pretty gnarly. It smells just like cheese because it's what you make cheese. And this is actually what I feed my plants. I feed my plants fermented plant matter using the Lactobacillus as a fermentation starter. So now what I'm doing, I'm just trying to filter out some of the Lactobacillus so I can use it later. This would be a lot easier if I was at home in my kitchen, or just brought the proper equipment. Alright, guys, this really smells like cheese. This is exactly how you would process cheese. You get rid of the water, which is the Lactobacillus, and then you have curds. So next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to let this chill for a minute. We'll see if it settles down, and we'll be right back. All right, hey, what's up, Miles? Can you hear us?
Hey, yeah, I'm here.
All right, cool. All right, guys, so we have Miles from Head Stash Gardens, and he is also from the seed company Weed Should Taste Good, and they're one of my favorite breeders. And yeah,
Like IG or something?
Yeah, man.
yeah, they're on Instagram at Head Stash Gardens, and also Intrinsic
Yeah,
Lady
oh.
as well.
Intrinsically, that's my girl, and Head Dash Gardens, that's me on Instagram. And we're building a website now, so I have some WWs to shoot at you next time. But yeah, we do the fermented plant extract fertilizers that are available at the soil, and they'll be available through some other distributors soon. We do the seeds. Also, we do CBD, hemp, and high THC rec med.
Can you turn him up? I can't hear him at all.
Hemp seeds are going to have a little bigger potential.
Turn it up all the way.
Doesn't change our love for the THC.
Hold on. Yo, Miles, can you talk more into your phone? I can barely hear you at the studio.
Yeah. Sorry about that. Is this better?
Yeah, that's much better.
Okay. Sorry about that.
No, you're good. You mind just repeating what you were telling us about the garden? We couldn't hear you over here. So you said that
For sure.
you're using all the ferments in your farm, and you're making them all from the biomatter that you're not using.
Well, we're using it in the ferments. We grow comfrey and hemp, and we're surrounded by other hemp farmers. So we use whatever plant matter that we can get our hands on in terms of the hemp. Like I use my own leaves and stalks, and then we put a limited amount of bud, like flower material in there. But we've also tapped in with local processors who do the cold wash ethanol extract for hemp, making the crude, the first step to making isolate and distillate and all that. And they give us all their plant matter. So I get just truckloads of hemp that's just had ethanol washed over it. So I use some of that in the ferments. I use some of our own fresh plant matters, root balls and leaves and stalks. And the same way with the comfrey. We just grow a big section of comfrey in our field, and we use it for the ferments, and we use as much of it as we can in our own material in ferments. And luckily, with the comfrey, we don't need any outside material coming in. With the hemp, every little bit helps.
That's pretty cool, man. And everything starts from the lactobacillus serum, or how's that process kind of work?
Well, for sure, the lactobacillus is like the powerhouse. It's the family of bacteria that are doing all the work in that fermentation. But I mean, we make that with the rice wash and the milk. We do that to capture all the local bacteria. Also, we also add in the product PM1 just for some form of consistency, because they test every batch in their lab and they have more consistent numbers than what they're able to produce in my lactobacillus, which is still super vital. And then the third ingredient we use, which is the bacterial side of things, the living side of things, is we tapped in with local goat farmers, a dairy in our area, and we get just 5-gallon buckets full of goat whey, which is basically labs. It's the lactobacillus serum that's a byproduct of cheese making, and it's the same exact thing. They curd the milk, separate the curd out, and the bottom layer is the whey, which is basically lactobacillus. So we use all three of those as the biological component to those ferments.
How did you stumble upon this? Like, this is sitting up here with a jar of it. What's the name of this here?
It's lactobacillus.
Lactobacillus. This shit stinks. Like, how do you go about feeding this to your plant and not gagging?
Oh man, if you think the lactobacillus smells bad, that's nothing. I mean, like when you we'll take if you do alfalfa, if you get alfalfa, ferment alfalfa or comfrey or anything that's really high in nitrogen, you ferment that. Oh my God, it smells so bad. But I grow a lot outdoors in greenhouse and stuff, so for me it's not, and in the outfield it doesn't really matter. But yeah, like indoors, I mean, organics are stinky. Like, I mean, it's just like organic fertilizers, concentrates, they smell bad. Like your compost pile shouldn't smell bad. Your compost shouldn't, like your finished compost should not smell bad. Your soil shouldn't smell bad.
Right.
But these concentrated liquid things do. They just stink. I mean, wear a change of clothes, get a good pair of gloves, like up your filter game in your room. But I mean, that's just a fucking fact of, like, a sad fact of life, that this stuff reeks. But it, like, you know, we make it so it just smells like me and smells like garden stuff, and like it smells like abundance to me. You know, it smells bad, but that's what, like, fecundity,
that's your
what,
money
like,
maker.
richness,
So yeah,
and like
I
vitality is. Like, that shit reeks.
That's crazy. So what advantages does this have over, say, something of a no-till?
Over what? Over no-till?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's a component of no-till. I would say it's
okay.
like this could, like, the ferment could replace the no-till. I think that the ferments are a part of it, are like an element, you know. But I think the problem with no-till is that you're not, like, getting down into soil to remineralize. Like, you're missing something in the soil. Like, you have to add that specific thing back to the soil. Like, if you're missing zinc and your compost doesn't have extra zinc in it, and you know, like you have to put zinc in the soil, and so, like, the chances that my field has zinc in it, and that my comfy and hemp is drawing that zinc up into it and then being extracted through fermentation back into those into the liquids. That's my hope. Is that, like, I can take the fertility that's in my field, draw it up into plant matter, and then ferment that fertility back out of the plant matter into these liquids to help people who have closed systems, like you know, an indoor soil garden in containers. It's not, you know, you have to add to it to accomplish that no-till, or even if you are stirring the soil, and you have to add back round after round after round. And these ferments are adding back. They're adding biology back. They're adding minerals back. They're adding low amounts of NPK value back into that soil. So, I mean, I don't consider these like a replacement for no-till. I think it's a component, like an element of it.
Yeah, I use lacto and the ferments as part of my no-till, you know, because it really does help give it a boost. I see it.
Yeah.
You can tell it.
Yeah, I mean, it reeks, but if you spray that stuff, if you spray lacto or EM1 or my ferments, if you the plants, they like it. It's like a stomata cleaner, and it's just a general health thing that the plants, especially here where I'm at in Colorado, it's so dry that like foliar sprays do such a big deal on plants. Where you guys are at, it's probably more humid, and the foliar spray is kind of like, you might not see the same kind of results as we do out here in the desert.
That makes sense because it's about your environment.
Yeah, for real. But the biology, man, the distinct biology that's in the lacto and that whole family is going to be beneficial. There's no we're doing it. I've added large amounts of labs to my soil in hopes of showing like a problem from it.
That
and
it could extend flower. That's the only thing that I've heard, and I didn't really experience that. Mine.
But extending flower, like making flower go longer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've totally experienced that, but it wasn't a bad thing. It was like the yields just got bigger and bigger. Like the plants just kept pushing, and I was like, go week 11, like go week 12, like, you know, they got bigger and bigger, and you know, not everything was finished when I pulled, and I just had to do it. And the strains I'm familiar with, so I was like, hey, you know. But I think that was in combination with alpha sprouted seed getting flower later. It was a big no-no.
Yeah,
don't want that tricantanol.
So would you say spraying that during flower is a bad idea?
What's that?
Spraying that during flower, the tricantanol tea with the alfalfa seed sprout? Should I not spray that?
Yeah, I wouldn't do alfalfa anything past like week 4 personally. I don't want to need nitrogen later in the flowering, and I don't want tricantanol in the flower that late in flowering.
Mm-hmm.
And that sprouted CT and alfalfa meal, alfalfa teas, all that stuff is just sort of like you're asking for the tricantanol, you're asking for the nitrogen.
Do you find any
Which are both good, just,
disadvantages of using your probiotic?
Oh yeah, I mean I consider my grows probiotic. We don't use anything.
Well, no, are there any disadvantages though? Like, is there anything that you want from it that you can't get from it because you use? What do you just pour it in with your feed? How do you use it?
The ferment? Yeah, I'll take the concentrate and I mix it with my feed water I go pretty heavy. I go probably like a cup per gallon, like 4 ounces per gallon, which is the maximum. What I recommend on the label and through Build-A-Soil, what I recommend is 1 to 4 ounces per gallon. You could probably go more with it, even if you wanted. My tap water and my water where I'm at is extremely high pH. It's like 7.5 to 8.5. So I'm not worried about the pH issue with the lacto or the ferments lowering my feed water too much. So I go really heavy with it. Plus, I have plenty of the stuff. I mean, I make it so I have plenty. I just feed it in my feed water and put it in the sip in like a sip reservoir. I put it right down the sip tube. Just I kind of use it interchangeably with labs. Like I treat the ferments as almost like an infused labs or an infused EM1. Like it's been infused with the plant with the properties of whatever plant has been extracted. So I foliar feed, sip reservoir.
Have you noticed any difference in the plants fighting off bugs when you're using your ferments? Or are bugs still a problem? Do they still come? Because a lot of people who are growing who want to grow in soil, they say, oh, I don't want to grow in soil because of bugs. So then they grow in hydro, but then they still get bugs, because bugs are just out there. So
right. Well, I mean, I honestly can't say like that. I mean, healthy plants make pest-resistant plants. Mm-hmm. I can say that the ferments and that lactobacillus and the EM1 and all this specific biology is going to make healthier, happier plants. But I can't honestly say like, oh, the ferments will keep bugs off your plants. If you're doing the ferments, you won't have a pest problem. Like, I can't go there, but one thing I've been more about, like, micronutrient deficiencies and driving plant health through plant nutrition is the micronutrients balance is extremely important to the point that, like, I mean, one thing I feel that's really missing is soil testing and this whole probiotic and, like the whole soil gardening scene is, like, people aren't yet on the practice of just testing your soil once a year or twice a year or something, because like if your soil is lacking molybdenum, and then there's something else that like molybdenum depends on. It might be magnesium, I'll say it for sure. But anyhow, molybdenum is like plants short on molybdenum will be more prone to pest attacks. So like I'm playing with like I might need to find a plant that's high in molybdenum and do a ferment out of it or something, or treat a soil with molybdenum and grow plants on that high molybdenum soil and then ferment those or something specifically for pests. That's kind of where I'm going with my education of things, is trying to drive plant health through nutrition, because it's all about happy, healthy plants. The closer we can get to just having happy, healthy plants all the time, the closer we're going to get to not having to deal with pests and bugs and all that stuff.
So if it doesn't do away with bugs, do you find it might attract more bugs?
The ferments, I don't know if they attract them. I mean, the smells like fishy and odorous things can definitely attract bugs, for sure. But I haven't found that to be the case in my I mean, we grow in the jungle almost. It's like green all around. So any like grasshoppers or something, they want to eat something. It's all for them. Like even indoors, there's cover crops. I plant comfrey growing right indoors with my ganja plants. So I mean, there's always something else to eat. If a pest wants to go, like clover as a cover crop is like spider mites love clover. They'll cover clover, and marigold same way. Like spider mites, you know, you got them clean in your room, and they'll go look in your cover crop, and you'll see them all in the cover crop. So I think having something else for them to eat aside from your crop is key. You know? And cover crops and companion planting is a great practice to begin with.
I've never heard of that. Companion planting. Learn something cool.
Yeah, it's a major part of it too.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, cover cropping. I mean, even if you're like not using your soil, like say you're like, oh, I'm going to shut down for 2 or 3 weeks. Like, you don't want your soil sitting there and nothing growing on it. Like, the best thing to have is something always growing on your soil, whether it's cannabis or clover or buckwheat or something. You want like even in my field, like through the winter, where like we harvest everything and then we sow a cover crop and try to get it once before the season ends, so that we can have something growing on that dead land. And it comes up, winter freezes it. We got animals come through the field and graze it down, so we get all the animal manure on the field in the form of organic matter and all that. And just more organic matter. The same way with your pots indoors. If you grow a cover crop and you're ready to plant, you just chop that cover crop down or rake it in gently, rake it into the surface of the soil, and just plant away. And I mean, I think that deters bugs in itself, or it attracts bugs to the cover crop, so you can identify them and say, oh, look, there they are. They're not on my plant, they're on my other plant.
Yeah, and then you can take advantage of that time and, you know, get some predatory mites to take care of them.
Yeah, or just, you know, there's so many options. Predatory mites, you can treat your, like you can try a molybdenum treatment, you can try a spray, you can get the predators, the nematodes, all that stuff. I mean, but the main goal is to have a plant that they just don't want you on, that they just don't want. Like it's too healthy, the sap pH, this and that, like whatever about it is just not appetizing bugs anymore, you know? Because, like, even if you're running a big operation and you've got everything under control with predator mites are going to become a constant expense, and you're going to be repeatedly spending that money on predators to keep the pests at bay. You might as well be spending that money on plant nutrition. The real goal is to have those healthy and happy plants. Pest management is a major problem, I think, primarily because it's not understood entirely. We're just trying to kill the bugs, but we get so wrapped up in killing bugs we forget that it's really about plant nutrition and keeping the plants happy and healthy.
Yeah, man, that has me thinking that I definitely need to test my soil and before my next harvest starts.
It's worth every penny, dude. Soil testing is so worth it.
Yeah.
What are you looking for when testing your soil?
I don't know. I'm going to hit up Miles and ask him.
For testing, you mean?
Like, you getting your soil tested, what is it you're looking for or looking out for?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear what you said. What are you looking for in the soil test? Well, looking for what's present and what's lacking. I mean, usually the cost of a soil test kind of comes with the cost of having someone else analyze it and kind of give you their 2 cents on it. But basically, there's it's a complicated, ratios and stuff, like this micronutrient to that and that micronutrient to that. But basically, it's a threshold. It's saying this calcium should be in this range and nitrogen should be in this range. And if you're too high, you got plenty. We don't need to add it, so we'll save money by not adding anything that we have enough. And then we'll say, but we're low on P and K. Okay, so a little bit of calcium and something for K, sulfamag. So you can get what you need to add back in between runs instead of just saying oh, I've run on this soil and I need to add back the mix or the I can say, oh, I don't need to add back alfalfa, because I've got plenty of nitrogen. I don't need to add back
Hey Miles,
phosphorus
so I'm sorry to interrupt you, man. But I really want to move on to your seeds and the CBD seeds that you have going, and the THC seeds you have, because I've been testing some of your seeds, and I really like the way they grow. Right now, I'm testing the SFBOG cross with, I think it's the Sour Baba, maybe.
On the SFE Deep Chunk by Bubba Kush.
Yeah, Baba Kush, yeah.
Yeah.
And then
Awesome.
I'm also running your Grape Stomper cross with Bubba Jam. I'm excited about that one.
Have those been tested?
I mean, they're straight from
testers?
seed, so I
Okay.
won't test them until I get some flower. But we'll see.
Okay. Want to say with them running
Nice.
that sound fun.
Oh, you're saying you're going to get the flowers lab tested?
Yeah, definitely.
Ow, sweet. I love it.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, we got I just got a Royal Kush male from I don't know if you're familiar with Elk Valley Heirlooms. He is the same dude who makes Rootwise, the soil inoculant Rootwise. He's been making seeds, and he uses all the aficionado Mandelbrot gear. And I just used one of his males on his males, dusted those Grape Stomper OG Bubba jams, dusted a Lime Cheese Bubba, dusted a so I'll have a whole Royal Kush cross
That's gonna be awesome.
coming along.
I can't wait to see that.
Yeah.
And try those out.
Yeah,
that needs to be.
I love the CBD, the hemp thing. I love this THC thing. That's kind of where my heart is, but the CBD hemp thing is kind of like where I see the future coming along too, though.
Definitely. I mean, I've seen a lot of changes with CBD. Even Virginia passing, CBD laws, and it's crazy what they're doing in Virginia, and then North Carolina too has CBD laws. It's pretty cool.
There's farms. I'm doing a consult in North Carolina. That's where I'm from, is North Carolina. So I'm doing a consult place in North Carolina. They're building up. Actually, they're building out a CBD breeding facility. And I'm concerned for them and trying to get some of their genetics over here and some of my genetics over there.
That's dope.
Yeah,
Shout out to Tar Heel State.
crazy. What's up with Maryland? And Maryland doesn't have any hemp program yet. And the upper, Northeast doesn't really have hemp going yet.
Not it. They paying attention to it. Ain't nobody pulled the trigger on it yet.
Huh.
I don't know. I haven't really looked too much into Maryland's program, but I think there's a program in West Virginia. I think.
Yeah. You guys don't care. You just got your 6 plants or whatever in DC, and that's pretty much all that's needed there. There's farmland in DC.
It really is. It's really all. But there's a lot out in West Virginia that can be used for hemp.
Oh, I bet. Oh God, yeah.
I've actually been looking
exciting.
into a lot of remediation because of the fracking that's affecting land that could be used. There's a lot of that in West Virginia. There's a lot of coal mining that happens. So I need
that's going to be huge. These ferments and the probiotic practices are they're going to be. Personally, I think the probiotic practices are going to be more useful for remediation for growing. Let's say they're not good for growing. The probiotic practices are great for growing, but for remediation and for just enriching land, if making the land better year to year was truly the goal, and the crop was kind of secondary, I think the probiotic practices are huge.
Definitely.
It's all about creating that biology in the soil, which is ultimately, my personal opinion is the biology, when you're growing a plant, biology isn't the answer to everything. You can't solve every single problem out there with biology in the soil. Like I said before, if you're lacking a certain micronutrient, microelement, if you're lacking that, you can't. Adding more biology isn't going to put it into your soil. You have to add it into soil in some form, and then the biology will unlock it and make your plant available. But if it's not there to begin with, all the biology in the world can do it. So it's kind of my 2 cents. Remediation, which I love the concept. I love to tap into some tainted landowners that want to fix land and are willing to go
Yeah,
through
man, because
the
that land is worthless, so they can't sell it.
Yeah, and they can't grow anything on it. And yeah, it's pretty sad what's happened with the soil mineralization in America.
It really is. Yo, Miles, it was a pleasure having you, man. I really appreciate it. You know, I'll definitely talk to you again. Thanks for coming on, man. Have a good night.
Yeah, buddy. Anytime. Give thanks, and I'll be looking forward to some more of your shows as time goes on. And maybe after the festival, we'll get up and we'll chat about Bongathon.
For sure, for sure. That'd be a lot of fun.
Cool, buddy.
All right, man. Take care.
Yeah, man. Peace, buddy.
Peace.
Have a good one. Thanks for the time.
Of course. Oh, we're good. Oh, yeah, sign out real quick. Guys, so that was Miles from Head Stash Gardens. Go check out on Instagram. I'm Capital Skunk.
Yo, Stone Cold.
You guys take care.